Had them on long before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. Had them on long before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. I know the wall's closing in, but don't you dare give up now. Poe believed in me, pull up through some bucks down. Todd told the valet pull the truck round. Push the line up that we drew it, it's just us now. Would you believe me if I told you my granny told me she prayed this? Been booked the surgery just to pull me out of the basement. Right back where I started, nothing to show for a facelift. Got pushed playing Walter White and Davis, never felt so dangerous. The type of power they can't quantify. And name the best from my region, you gotta utter mine. Think of who really putting on, you never come to mind. Rapping like your Spotify, tap you rappers compromise. Yeah, no need to panic, just paint the canvas. If you can feel the static, you're too close, find your balance. Embed the revolution for their prohibition bandwidth. Blood trickle from the leaders he was planning. Had them all line before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. Had them all line before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. Boarded that flight to Amsterdam. Well, my accountant and minus my family found out too and didn't like it. You're not in the salon with Dale said and I thought he was biased. Then I got a Venmo that said copy the finest. Before my foolishness settled in, recorded a whole tape before we got to Berlin. This close to giving up and now never again. Don't overlook the work and come expecting to win. In the end, my word, never put nothing over the squad. Got it right up under their nose and try the facade. Off the cliff with broken wings, I'm aware of the odds. Enough faith for us all, I'm the one for the job. Most days, catching sun rays, baby, look like the front page. Overthinking what they might say, have it your way. Yeah, the biggest threat is something they never seen. Dial it up, patch me into the screen. Had them all line before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. Had them all line before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up.
What's up, everybody? Good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Lukman Nation, the most dangerous show on social media, on the most dangerous platform on social media, Black Power Media. I'm Jackie Lukman. Welcome again. So glad you're able to join us. And we got a great show tonight. I'm very excited about this show because I want to talk a little bit about workers and the struggle that workers are still enduring in this country while our government is fighting against free speech of journalists like myself. Workers are still catching hell, and all of the focus is on who is and who's being painted with the new red smear 2020, but the struggle of workers in this country to obtain decent wages, decent health care, and workers who are providing some of the most critical services that mostly everybody in this country is probably in contact with. So very excited to get into that. But before I do, of course, subscribe to Black Power Media if you have not done so already. Click the subscribe button, the little bell, to make sure you get notifications. Join Black Power Media. You can support Black Power Media on Patreon, patreon.com/Black Power Media. You can follow Black Power Media on Twitter, Black Power MED, the number 1. And you can follow BPM on Facebook, Black Power Media on Facebook. You can also support me, Jackie Lukman, here in Lukman Nation on Patreon at patreon.com/Lukman Nation, where I try very hard to drop my monologues, at least 2 or 3 of them that I do during the week. I got to catch up this week. But there's lots of other content there. So getting better at adding more stuff just for you patrons. Really, really appreciate your support. And I hope you really had a great time watching Last Dope Intellectual. I did. And it was just, they are so I love them so. I love them so. So very glad. And Burn It Down with Kim Brown earlier today. I love Fridays. Fridays is a really great date night. I really dig it. So listen, let's talk about workers and worker struggles. Everybody probably knows someone who needs information from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I bet you everybody knows somebody who has called that 1-800 number, 1-800 Medicare, to get information for their family member or for themselves. But did you know that the 1-800 Medicare call staffed by federal employees? It's staffed by employees of a private company that are contracted by the federal government to provide call center services, answering your questions for all things Medicare and particularly all things Affordable Care Act in regard to Medicare. Why is this important? Because those workers are not getting the pay or the benefits they deserve. So I am really happy to be joined tonight by Maya Harris. I'm going to add her. How are you, Miss Maya?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me tell you all a little bit about Miss Harris. She is the Internal Support Group Senior Agent at the Bogalusa Call Center. Where's Bogalusa? Maya, for folks who don't,
Louisiana.
it's in Louisiana, way
Yes.
down south. And Maya has been in this position for 8 years. Thanks again, Maya, for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us about the worker struggles at this call center that is owned by a private company called Maximus. So first off, I want to ask you what is Maximus, and why should people be concerned or know about what it is?
Well, Maximum is a global company, and Maximum,
Global.
yes, it's global, and it is a company that primarily works in call centers in the U.S. They run call centers for the federal and state programs like student loans, child support, CDC, and in the call centers, the Affordable Care Act, Medicare. When you dial that 1-800 number for Medicare, or if you dial that 1-800 number and they now the new term, aka Obamacare, you're talking to a person like myself. But and we represent the federal government. This company is global. It deals with not just the student loans, not just the affordable health care. They even have their hands in some of the military um, issues or whatever. So, like some of the missiles and yeah, they're big. They're
Whoa.
just not just little people that are sitting like Kelly Services at once upon a time. No, they are the big wigs. A lot of
I
times,
had to
like
think back. I'm like, wait, the Kelly
yeah,
girl?
they big dogs, okay.
What?
And they got little people like myself putting them in those gated communities, and we sit back and get treated like crap and make peanuts.
Okay. First of all, Miss Maya, let me tell you, you can cuss on this show.
Okay.
I just because this some bullshit right now.
Oh, baby,
Right
is
out
it?
the gate. This
It is.
some bullshit.
Oh, is it? All day long, every day.
Okay, so let me collect myself because I wasn't expecting so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. We
So
might not, they might be downplaying it, but if them missiles go across there for Putin, guess who gonna have their hands in that pocket?
oh
Maxima, General Dynamics. Yes.
okay, so this company that I guarantee you people have not heard of, and full disclosure, people, folks who watch this show have heard me talk about my time as a government contractor. I worked for a small government contractor that was eventually bought out by General Dynamics, and I left like right
I was
after
there
they
too
bought.
with
Uh,
General Dynamics.
and see, people, life as a contractor, a federal contractor, you do the work that everybody thinks federal employees do. Right.
Exactly.
So everybody thinks that when they're calling into these federal agencies, they are talking to federal employees who make all this good money and have all these good benefits, right?
Right.
That's only true for some folks on these federal contracts. The government contracts out to private corporations almost all of the work they do. So almost everything that is done in the government, with the exception of like the supervisors and the managers, typical, right? All of the actual work that gets done in whatever, you can argue whether work actually gets done in the government or not. That's another discussion. But all of the actual work that is done in the federal government, 80% of it, probably more, is done by done by contractors that are controlled by private corporations. So the corporations don't really have to abide by the federal standards for pay benefits. So people are thinking that folks calling the 1-800 Medicare a number, they're talking to a federal employee who has a good government job, getting good money and good benefits, but that's not the case, is it?
Not at all.
Miss Maya.
Not at all. That is definitely not the case. When you hear our voices on those lines, we're just like you. We're living from paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes we're not even living from paycheck to paycheck. We're living from ham sandwich to ham sandwich.
Ooh.
Okay? Because when it comes to our medical, some people can't even afford to go to the doctor with the medical insurance that they offer. They did that just to make themselves look good and say, oh, we offer you benefits. How can I go to the doctor when I can't even get a prescription for you? Because it's so costly.
So hold on.
And then if you get
Mhm.
sick now, if you're not grandfathered in, you just shit out of luck because
Okay,
you don't get sick days. So if your
well,
baby gets sick, you can't take your baby to the doctor because you're going to get hours and you're going to get points, and you only get, I think it's 64 hours in a year. That's just a week and a few days. And people like myself that is grandfathered in, it takes me 3-4 months to get 8 hours of sick. So you calculate that up throughout the year. That's nothing. And if I get sick and I have any vacation time, I have to use all of my vacation time first before they do any sick pay or anything like that. So, and by the time they pay you, you probably almost on the street, because people don't understand that you sick and they haven't sent you your short-term or long-term disability. All they want to know is when you're going to pay your bills, when you're going to pay your mortgage. And they got a protocol that takes forever, and they send you through hell to get it.
So
basically, we should be able to get some food benefits. They got us just where we can't get qualified.
Oh,
they make it just where we can't qualify, but we're not too far off of that threshold where we should be able to stand in that line and get them good benefits, them food benefits, because I could use some, because even with me being in the household just myself, it's still a struggle for me. And now with the gas prices and everything going up, oh, they call them, and they have people thinking that they gave us that great pay raise. No, I worked there for 5 years, and it took me 5 years to get a 3-cent pay raise. Then when all the Biden signed the executive order and we fought to get those raises, they at first said it would take an act of Congress for us to get a pay raise. And if we hadn't fought for what we have gotten, We still wouldn't have gotten that. And then when the president signed the executive order, they were still saying they couldn't give it to us right now. But we fought for it. So all of a sudden, they could give us this raise, and they made it think like they were doing us a favor, and they went ahead and gave us a raise. No, little do people know, we stood and we fought. Some of us stood and fought to get that when we got it. And they're still trying to come up with some crap on a date in May about the pay raises.
So, Maya, let me get this straight for people who the call center you work at answers questions, helps people, guide them through their questions about their benefits under the Affordable Care Act.
Correct.
Right? But the people who answer the phone, helping people through those benefits, work for a company that does not provide you all with affordable health care yourselves. How much was your deductible before
we had two
before this
deductibles.
strike? Mm-hmm.
We had one, I think it was approximately $3,500 or $4,500. That was one. And then you had a prescription deductible. So you actually had two deductibles to meet. Yes.
$4,500. What's
between $3,500 to $4,500. And that's just the one. Now we got two because you got your prescription. You got to get that prescription deductible so you can get that diabetical medicine. Because we as color, we gonna eat some pig. Okay.
Well, let's just say we have genetic.
Okay, we got them generational things going on where Mama had it, now we got it. So we got the diabeticals. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
We got the high blood pressure, and we are people of color. And nowadays, with these younger generations, they start being diagnosed with this much earlier than what we do, because all the chemicals that's in the food, it's kicking in much faster. Okay, so and then what makes me angry, they target certain areas. So they'll put this job in this rural little town. And then so when you put this job in this rural town, you have people thinking that you are doing them a favor because you're paying them just above minimum wage. So when you don't know any better, you think you're doing something. Oh, I work over there and I make this. But little do you know, it's a better way. It's a better way. And these people are milking us like crazy.
So when you say that, that the job is, they put these jobs in these little towns and people think that they're getting, something great because they're making more than they would make anywhere else in the town. How much money are we talking about? I don't. It does not look good. Okay, how much?
Okay, well, right now.
Now you don't have to tell me how much you make. I'm talking about the starting salary.
And once upon a time, I think like in some of the areas they were making maybe 10, 9 something
a year.
They was making, I know, let's see, it wasn't even $30,000 a year. It was not 30,000. We just got there. It was
with a $3,000 to $4,000 medical deductible, and then a separate deductible that's a couple of other $1,000, and no paid sick time off.
No paid sick time. They just did that. I think they started that in 2019. Now I'm grandfathered in when I get that little bit of sick pay, that sick time. You got to build that up. I think we get 0.6 each pay period.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's how you gonna get 8 hours. And like I said, I get now 2-3 weeks. But if I get sick before I've taken my vacation, I have to use that first.
Oh, wow.
So you don't get that separate. You have to use up all your vacation time. Any time that you have to use that first. Then they will consider, they look at for the sick time and the sick pay. But now, some people have been terminated because they were literally in the hospital and they got those hours because they didn't have the sick time, so they got terminated from the job.
They got fired because they got sick and had to be hospitalized.
They got fired because they were sick. Yes, and literally in the hospital. There's been a young lady, she was on maternity leave. They sent her letter in the mail.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Maya. What's the demographic makeup of the people who work at the call center?
You're looking at them.
I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I just wanted to make sure.
You're looking at it. And most of us are females with children, babies, and some of us have quite a few. And we're trying to make it. So the demographic is what you're looking at right now. Now, it is some of us out there that's not, and I got their backs too, because they out there too. But guess what? If they over there with me, they're in that same struggle that I'm in.
That's
trying to survive.
That's working class solidarity. That's what it is. That's it. That's exactly what it is. So you said earlier that the little bit of pay raise that you got and the little bit of deduction in the medical deductible that the company gave was after you fought for that.
Exactly. Once we, yes.
So what happened there? What happened then because again, y'all, I'm sure you've never heard of this company, Maximus. I think this is true of probably most government contractors that are not the big defense contractors, or maybe like the big service contractor that does the food or whatever. But I'm sure you've never heard of this company. So this company is providing a service that most Americans access, but the employees that are providing the service aren't getting paid a decent wage, aren't getting decent benefits, while they're helping other folks navigate benefits they can't get.
And not all of that, but then you get treated like to me, it's the modern day slave mentality.
Oh my God.
To me, I think I would do 5 jobs, basically. Because once that new person comes on the floor, if he or she needs help, they have to call me. I'm a phone supervisor. When they say, "Can I speak to a supervisor?" You're looking at her. When that person needs additional help, once they become from the training room to the floor, you're looking at her. Then if they want to, they could put me in another call queue. So that's one job. When they put me in what they call a tier 1, I'm tier 1. I'm a tier 2. I am that tech support. I need my password reset. I can't get my system. I don't know how. I'm trying to create an account and I need help. My system is not cooperating. I'm that person. I didn't go to college to be a tech person, but I'm not one. So that's 1, 2, 3. Tier 1, tier 2. I'm just counting. I'm a what they call an internal support group person. So I take all of those calls. That's 3 call. That's like 3 call positions in one with this internal support group. Then I'm taking all these other calls, and I get 1 salary. I get 1 salary for basically almost 5 different jobs. 1 salary, and then I was in one position for like forever, and I got, after 5 years, 3-cent raise. Now, what could I do with that? And even though I live in a rural area, this is one of the highest areas you can live in. Everything is expensive here. I would rather go back home and live in the big lights in the big city because it costs here. The taxes are high.
In Bogalusa?
Yes, we pay taxes on everything.
Wow.
Everything is taxed. Food, everything is taxed here. And it's a poverty area. I'm sorry, but it is. Yes.
Wow. So,
and we don't have counties, we have parishes, and this is
right,
one of the
right.
poorest parishes you can live in. So that's why they target it. They put this call center here for a purpose, so
Mhm.
they can make you think that you are doing they've done you a favor. Oh, I work at the call center, or they work at the call center. And if you don't know if you don't know any better, you think it is good.
Mm.
And if they send you an email and spook you, are you scared you're going to lose your job? If they
Okay.
start talking to you and telling you, Massa said, if I do this, I'm just going to keep it real. If Massa tell me, oh no, I can't do this because I'm scared, I need my job. But they going to fire you anyway if they going to fire you. Especially
See,
over there, because we live in an at-will, fire me state.
that's
They
right.
gonna fire you. They gonna fire you. Now, if you may not hear that phone beep. They can hang you for saying call avoiding. If they really want to target you, I know I'm targeted because they hide with me right now. Oh well, here I am.
Mm.
But a closed mouth does not get fed, and I keep telling my people that.
Ooh,
We
you
have
better
not
preach.
got this far by just being a closed mouth. Our forefathers and foremothers did not get this far, and that's all I'm trying to get my people to see. And as long as we are scared and they can send us an email and let them continuously treat us the way they are treating us, which it's you're not gonna never get anywhere.
You ain't said nothing but a word. You ain't did nothing but preach up in here. And I would like for you to explain, since we're talking about the response from the company, because that was where I was going to go next. You just had a limited strike Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks walked out. How many people work at the call center where you are?
Depending on the year, the time
Mm-hmm.
frame,
Mm-hmm.
between 600 to 700 people in just
Okay.
this call center alone, or
So
maybe more when it's open enrollment.
right. So how many people
But
participated
they
in the
call it
strike?
hot seat in the pandemic. You don't have a
Uh-huh.
seat. You know, and this is a pandemic still. I still
Yeah.
say it's a pandemic. And
Yeah,
you
it
sitting
is. But
around
still,
and
there's a
I'm not there, but for the people that are there, I feel for them.
oh no, there's a whole new variant floating
Yeah.
around that people are acting like is
Yeah,
not a big deal.
you don't have a seat, so you get to work. You got to figure it out, or they got to put you somewhere. You
Mm,
don't know who has sat there. You don't know what's what, but this is how it
wow.
goes.
So there are no COVID protocols,
Well, they call themselves having some now.
but
You over there, if you vaccinated, you over here, if you not vaccinated. What is that kind of mess going on?
oh my God. Oh Lord.
Okay.
So 600 at its peak, 600 people. How many people participated in the strike
In
Wednesday?
my area, I'm ashamed to say, we did have a lot of support.
Mm-hmm.
We did. But in my area, our numbers were very small because, again, and I don't mean any harm to any of my co-parts, you have to understand this area to understand the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a very small community, and this is how it goes. Mama, I'm just going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
She worked and made 50 cents a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then mama made $1. So
Mm-hmm.
now you making, say, $15.
A day.
This is a community.
Yeah.
And when I say this, you go home. And I believe me when I tell you this, you go home and you conversate. It's just like mama worked there. It's just like mama worked there. Everybody worked there. But so they're telling you, well, girl, I only made 50 cents. Y'all over there making that?
Mm.
So and then you got to look at, this is still sometimes what they say, a mentality of this is still their world in this town.
Right. Right.
Okay. It's still their world in this town. So they run everything. And so we are still programmed to think that we can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on here. They are programmed to say, I cannot move. Because this is something that, and I don't want to lose my job. Well, heck, if they fire you for anything, they'll fire you for anything. You don't get sick then. If you scared to get fired, don't get sick. Don't let your baby get sick then. Because you gonna still get fired. But I'd be doggone if I would not get fired for fighting for something that's gonna better myself than to fight because I lose my job because I got sick. And they don't give a damn. That's just how it is. They don't give a damn. So I would rather be fighting for to better myself than to sit up and let them fire me because my child got sick.
And fighting for other folks who haven't found their spine yet. I mean, honestly, that's the truth. So the other side of this, and you alluded to it a little bit, but I wonder if you can go more into, since we talked about the low numbers of folks who participated because they are afraid, what, other than the emails, like what has Maximus's response been to the national attention that the worker discontent has garnered? I mean, before the past month, nobody heard of Maximus. And now, after a larger strike, there's been another strike. Now Bernie Sanders is coming out saying that he supports, the Maximus call center worker strike. That had to have an effect on the bigwigs in Maximus.
Well, so far, as of today, unless it changed since Wednesday, today, Thursday, Friday, it's been quiet.
Really?
It's been quiet.
Quiet as in?
Quiet in as they haven't said a word.
They ain't done nothing.
They haven't said a word to us. They haven't offered to, I haven't heard, and I don't think anybody else has it either. They have not even offered to sit down and really talk to us. And if I was the CEO, Bruce Carswell, I'd be sitting there saying, wait a minute, what's really going on? And then we have a high turnover. Why is it that we have such a high turnover? That lets you know we're nothing but a number.
So I'm going to read something from this was an article posted in Modern Healthcare where they talked about the strike. And there is a Maximus call center in Virginia, not too far from me. I'm in Washington, D.C. And in Virginia, the Maximus managers say that it respects its employees' right to attempt to organize. The company in Virginia says that it has increased pay and compensation and improved healthcare benefits within the limits of federal law. The company is also critical of federal law, which it says restricts wages and benefits offered by federal contractors. So Maximus is saying that it's federal law that keeps them from giving you all the pay and the benefits that you deserve.
Well, then they need to go talk to the president of the United States of America. Okay, because his name is Joe Biden. And if I recall correctly, Joe Biden supports us. Joe Biden passed and signed an executive order for all of us, contract or not, to be treated fairly and paid fairly.
What executive order? Do you know what that executive order?
He signed it to say that he wanted all the federal workers to be paid the same, and treated the same.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
I do remember that. I have to look it up.
Where is this coming from? That this is so they overlooking what the president of the United States have said, He's the big dog in charge over Bruce Carswell. Okay, because if he signs an executive order, if he's telling to pull his contract, Bruce, you might have a problem in Houston. Okay, because that's how you getting to be in that community, making over $2 million a year.
Bruce Carswell, the CEO of Maximus, makes over $2 million a year.
He make, him not hungry. Him don't need no sick days. Him don't need no food benefits. He can buy his medicine. He can go to the doctor. He can go on a vacation. Oh yeah. Him and his family and
over
his counterparts, oh yeah, they can do all of that. Oh yeah.
This man, Bruce Carswell, we said his name 4 times. You ought to be able to find him. And
he knows me. I was on the sharehold meeting with him. Yes, he knows who I am.
See, this is what I love. This is the workers who understand how to use the power of an open shareholder meeting. Look, man, when you work for these companies, and I've done it myself a couple of times, and they have these company-wide meetings that they open up with the open up to the employees, and then they open the floor, and so many people, and I know it's true, Maya, so many people that will complain about conditions every other day, complain all day long. But as soon as they get into an open forum with the big wigs, nobody has anything to say.
Right. And to be honest, Wednesday, everybody, including Momo, should have been out there with us. Everybody. There's not one person that should not have been out there. I don't care if you black. I don't care if you white. I don't care whatever color you are. You say, I think that's 7.4 million.
Yeah. See, because our friends, our people.
Do you think he need anything?
Thank you so much, Luke Mon Nation chat. The chat is always on it. They are at their computers looking up.
And I promise you, I tell people all the time, but yet you complain. You sit and complain. And your managers, your supervisors can do all of these ugly things to you, but you don't want to stand up for your rights. There's no reason for that.
TT also let us know 24 executives of Maximus, zero
people of color. That's correct.
So what are the next steps? Because clearly this fight is not
what's
over.
The next step? I want to go on vacation with Bruce. I want to go on one of them good vacations. Fully paid for by Bruce.
One of those $7.4 million.
And eat anything I want. Caviar, the best steak, the best champagne. Yes. Because I'm helping you get on that vacation. So I think I deserve it, Bruce.
Not only is Maya and her co-workers, her colleagues, helping Bruce get on that $7.4 million vacation, he is stealing their wages. This is wage theft. This is what wage theft look. The United States is the richest country that this planet has ever seen. Not just in the world. This is the richest country this planet has ever seen. There is no logical reason for the CEO of any company in this country to be making $7.4 million a year every year, but paying the employees on a federal contract. Because see, you know how a federal contract works? The company gets their money from the government when they win the contract. They get their money up front. And they are supposed to put in the contract, because I was a proposal writer, so I know what they put in contracts. The company is supposed to put in the contract how much money they're going to pay the workers, how many workers they need to fulfill the contract. So labor and benefit costs are supposed to be written into the contract. But guess what? Contractors pad those numbers all the time.
Mhm.
They pad those numbers. They lie about how much they are going to pay workers. And when they eventually end up fulfilling the contract, they usually end up paying the lower tier workers a lot less money.
Mhm.
So when I say wage theft, I'm not kidding. On a federal contract, that is wage theft. And oh, by the way, the federal government knows this happens. Almost every contractor does it, but the bigwigs in the federal government, they don't care because they're getting the work done that they don't have to hire people for. It's not a problem they care about. But this is why worker solidarity is important. This is why people like Maya and the 10,000 workers that are employed by Maximus, 11 call centers, over 9 states, that's just in the US. And this is one federal contract, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services,
Mhm.
that Maximus has. At the beginning of the show, Miss Maya told us about the student loan contract. And what else was it?
CDC.
And the CDC. You calling these people, getting your COVID information, and they have people in their call centers
Child support. So when
talking
you
about,
when you're looking for them,
oh my
you
goodness,
talking to us, yes. Child support, yes. And
all of this.
not I think they're winging in on the food benefits too now.
They probably will be, because that this is also how contracting works.
Mhm.
Incumbents can usually, an incumbent is a contractor who has won the contract and is doing the work now. An incumbent usually has an advantage over new contractors that are bidding on a new contract or a new part of an existing contract. So yeah. So this is why it is extremely important for us to hear the stories of the struggles of the people who provide us these services, who are doing the work on behalf of the federal government, providing services that they can't even get. This is why it's important for us to hear the stories, not about workers, because I don't like to talk about workers all the time. I like to talk to workers so they can tell their own story. So Miss Maya, what can we do now that we know this story? We know about Maximus, we know about the treatment in the call centers. What can we do to support? What do you need from us?
Okay, well, if everyone would take a stand with us and say, put them on blast and let them know that our eyes have been open and we see and we know what you all are doing and we know that this is so unethical, and help us get out of this situation of it's pretty much a lot of it's to me it's poverty. And it's slave mentality. It's slavery. It's a modern day slavery. Even though we're not in the field, cotton fields, we are still going in a door where we get mistreated. Just like we was in the fields, we get sick. What they do, we pass out in the field. They take us next,
They drag you on off
next,
and put you somebody else
next.
in your place.
So, you can visit our nlrb.gov, and this will give you information on the rights as an American citizen. And just go to our website, the CWA website for helping us organize, and just post and pledge and help us fight for these rights that we deserve.
So I dropped the CWA, Communications Workers of America website. That is the union that the call center workers are organizing with and organizing under. Y'all know what to do. You got your marching orders. Maya Harris, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time this evening. You could be doing anything else on a Friday night. I bet the weather's kind of nice there.
It is.
You could have been doing anything else, but you took the time out to come and really lay it down and break it down for us here in Lukman Nation. We thank you, and we do stand with you, and we got your back.
Thank you so much. All I can do is say, my people, let us come back to standing together. And let us just come back and stand together like we used to. And
Absolutely.
someone just posted, I think I made a error on the website. Can you check that for me? Make sure I did not, for that website that I just provided.
Communications Workers of America, CWAUnion.org.
Right. And then there's the NLRB.gov.
Okay, yeah, the National Labor Relations Board.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So please help us. That's all I can say is please help us. And when next time we out there, if anybody can come and help fight, we need your help.
Louisiana peeps, Bogalusa peeps, folks in the area, we'll let you know. We'll let you know where to show up.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you too, Maya. Have a great weekend. We'll be talking to you again soon, hopefully with better news. Take care,
Thank
love.
you. Bye-bye.
Y'all, listen. There is... It pisses me off. It really pisses me off when I see our sisters have to shoulder the weight of so much of the struggle. And I understand. It's not like I'm going to sit here and say that I do not understand and I don't have the same experience with folks in my own family sometimes who, too scared to rock a boat. Here we are over here, me and Sean, our show is being kicked off all of these networks because this Russian state media and all this kind of shit. And we're wondering, okay, are they about to shut us down? And we're like, well, look, this is the struggle. This is the work. And there are people in this country, people are losing their minds over, that shit. But people in this country are literally fighting for health care, decent wages, and sick leave. Don't let these people take your eye off the ball. Don't. Yes, it is important. It's absolutely important to challenge the U.S. narrative on this completely manufactured bullshit war that the U.S. started in Ukraine. But while we're looking over there, all of this other stuff is going on in this country and our people are struggling, and we cannot ever let them struggle alone. Because look, the struggle was never embarked upon by most of the folks. It was a bigger effort than we see now, but capitalism got some of us shook. Capitalism really has some of us shook, where we believe that, we better not complain too much or else we're gonna, we're gonna mess up this gravy train. This ain't no gravy train for us. This is not a gravy train for us. We're getting crumbs. Our people are getting crumbs, and they are made to believe that the few little crumbs they get, they should be thankful that they get those. But there is a better way. There absolutely is a better way, and we absolutely stand with the workers of Maximus in Bogalusa and all across this country, just like we stand with the workers all over the world. So the last few minutes we have, I wanted to, excuse me, hopefully talk about a couple of stories where the students were picking up the baton, basically. So in Newark, charter school students were basically locked out of school for exercising their right to protest. And why were they protesting? They were protesting because they felt like the school's discipline was too just ridiculously harsh, and a bunch of Black teachers left because of those issues. So this was posted in Chalk Beat in Newark, and a bunch of students walked out of school to protest the conditions that they say are unfair, the unfair discipline, the silencing of Black teachers. So what does the school do in response? They locked students out of the building after they staged a walkout this week. The North Star Charter School Academy, which is the state's largest charter school operator, ordered the juniors and seniors at the Lincoln Park High School campus to stay home part of this week. They told the students Sunday to stay home, but they didn't explain why. This is a really good article where they talk about how the students felt like, some of the students felt like, the order to tell the students to stay home was, to silence their exercising of their opinion, to silence dissent. And at least one staff member literally threatened the students, basically. It wasn't a warning, it was a threat that they would face consequences. This gym teacher, the volleyball coach, told team members in a voicemail message, "Do not come back to my gym. Do not try out in August. That is not what I represent," talking about the protest. "This is not what North Star represents." Don't you love America? Freedom, all that kind of stuff. Students said that several Black teachers have left the school in recent years because they felt disrespected or objected to the school's exacting rules and discipline policies. And it kind of fits, right? If the school would lock students out because they protested the harsh policies and the disrespect of Black teachers who have left because of those policies, it kind of validates exactly what the students were saying and exactly what the teachers were experiencing. Some students said the school can feel overly controlling and insensitive to the particular concerns of Black faculty and students. So, look, starting at a really early age in this country, our folks are being conditioned not to resist, not to talk back, just to shut up, keep your head down, go along and get along, because some folks had it worse. Y'all got it good. And that's not the only example of students who have been punished or who are exercising their right to protest and dissent. Students in, let's see, where is this? This is Homewood Flossmoor High School in, oh my God, where is Homewood Flossmoor? I have to look up and see where this is. But these students staged a second walkout over the school's response to a sexual assault. And, oh, goodness. Chicago. Thank you. So sorry. So the walkout was the second. The first was a larger event, which involved an estimated 200 to 300 students. But students did not like the response to the sexual assault. And the incident that prompted it was there were 14 girls who said that they were assaulted by the same male student over the past 3 years. So here we have a school in Chicago where for 3 years, 14 students have said that they were sexually assaulted by this one male student, and the school does nothing, allows it to continue to happen. And they still have not done too much of anything. I'm encouraged by the fact that students across the country have been walking out of school for lots of reasons. We've seen this in places like New York, Chicago, and other places during the COVID reopenings with the dropping of mask mandates, where students were walking out of school, standing up for their rights to be safe in their schools. And also, for other reasons. So I'm always encouraged to see another generation of folks understanding and stepping fully into their power as an organized unit. Because what these kids don't realize is they're learning organizing. They're learning the power of organizing. And yes, they are facing some backlash, but don't we? Sure we do. But organization helps people to confront an issue that is bigger than you, difficult, to go against an adversary or an oppressor in a way that you are not alone. That's why organizing and being in an organization is incredibly important. That you do not fight these fights by yourself. This is why solidarity is important, because you are not by yourself. You're not fighting these fights by yourself, because make no mistake, the enemy, our enemy, capitalism, white supremacy, warmongering, patriarchy, our enemy is united. The people who control these systems, they are united in their contempt for us and in continuing their oppressive and exploitative behaviors. They are united. And they are absolutely united in indoctrinating students into believing that they can't do anything about the problems that they face, or in terrorizing students to sit down and shut up and be quiet. But just like I'm really thankful for Maya Harris for not being afraid, for standing up, for speaking out, I'm very proud of the students for doing the same. And I hope you all watching will share this video to elevate and spread the information that needs to be elevated and spread about the struggle of the workers down in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and in other places where Maximus is exploiting its workers, denying them decent pay and leave, so that people can indeed stand in solidarity with working class Black women and other women of color standing up for their rights. And if you're in the area, show the workers at Bogalusa, the Maximus Call Center, some love the next time they have a direct action. And I will let you know when that is. If you know students who are interested in organizing against an issue or around an issue at their school, support them. And you yourself, join an organization. There is no better time than now. And now is really the time where organization is needed the most. All right, y'all, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm Jackie Lukman. This is Lukman Nation, the most dangerous show on social media, on the most dangerous network on social media, Black Power Media. See you again very soon. Until then, peace, if you're willing to fight for it. And they are out here throwing up the peace sign like they won something. Yep. I don't understand what they think they want.
I need to revise. I did see white people this happy. I gave the example of America and the Allies' defeat over Nazi Germany. But I haven't seen this many white people happy. There was a couple periods in history. One was when Nutella was introduced. And I mean, I haven't seen that many white people happy since Nutella was introduced and marketed and stuff. Because white people love Nutella.
They booked the surgery just to pull me out of the basement. Right back where I started, nothing to show for a facelift. Got pushed playing Walter White and Davis, never felt so dangerous. The type of power they can't quantify. And name the best from my region, you gotta utter mine. Think of who really putting on, you never come to mind. Rapping like your Spotify, tap you rappers compromise. Yeah, no need to panic, just paint the canvas. If you can feel the static, you're too close, find your balance. Embed the revolution for their prohibition bandwidth. Blood trickle from the leaders he was planning. I had them all online before I dial up. How they claiming they on top when I'm a mile up. I had them all online before I dial up. How they claiming they on top when I'm a mile up. Boarded that flight to Amsterdam. When my accountant and minus my family found out too and didn't like it. You're not in the salon with Dale said and I thought he was biased. Then I got a Venmo that said copy the finest. Before my foolishness settled in, recorded a whole tape before we got to Berlin. This close to giving up and now never again. Don't overlook the work and come expecting to win. In the end, my word, never put nothing over the squad. Got it right up under their nose and try the facade. Off the cliff with broken wings, I'm aware of the odds. Enough faith for us all, I'm the one for the job. Most days, catching sun rays, baby, look like the front page. Overthinking what they might say, have it your way. Yeah, the biggest threat is something they never seen. Dial it up, patch me into the screen. I had them all online before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up. I had them all online before I dial up. How they claiming they on top and I'm a mile up.